Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for May 3rd. May 3rd is the 123rd day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 124th in leap years, with 242 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is gerund. Yet another word that spell check didn't recognize. Gotta love those obscure words. Gerund is a noun that means a ruler or manager. This comes to us from Latin. Earliest documented use of the word gerund was 1576. I've actually heard this word used in terms of someone being described as a vicegerent. I'd like to take a moment to mention that links to my research are included in the show notes. Ask you to go ahead and click that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Not sure if we'll have outtakes or not. I mean, there will be mistakes, but I don't know how the editing is going here. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And remember that you can share this video with others with a link in your email or social media. And with that, we're going to start in the year 1469 with the birthday of Italian historian and philosopher Niccolo Machiavelli, born May 3rd, 1469. One of those people who made such an impact that his name has become an adjective. He was active in politics, in the politics of his time. Somewhere along the way, he wrote a pamphlet entitled The Prince. In The Prince, which was also published as a book posthumously, he described a vision of an ideal leader as an amoral, calculating tyrant for whom the ends would justify the means. Interestingly, his personal views were actually much more moderate than the ideas he expressed in The Prince. But once it was out, he became an object of great suspicion, causing him to lose favor and become alienated from the people that he wished to serve. To this day, the term Machiavellian is used to describe an action undertaken for gain without regard for right or wrong. He lived to the age of 58. On May 3rd, 1715, a total solar eclipse was visible across northern Europe and northern Asia, as predicted by Edmund Halley, to within 4 minutes of accuracy. Washington, D.C. was incorporated as a city on May 3rd, 1802, and given a mayor-council form of government. This is the birthday of Emmett Dalton. Born May 3rd, 1871, he was the youngest of 12 children and a member of the Dalton gang of bank robbers. This is the birthday of American singer and actor Bing Crosby, born May 3rd, 1903. He entertained generations of Americans and lived to the age of 74. Also the birthday of American singer-songwriter, guitarist, and activist Pete Seeger, born May 3rd, 1919. He lived to the age of 94. And the birthday of American boxer Sugar Ray Robinson, born May 3rd, 1921. He lived to the age of 67. On May 3rd, 1921, West Virginia became the first state to legislate a broad sales tax, but did not implement it until a number of years later due to enforcement issues. Ireland was divided into Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland with the passing of the Government of Ireland Act 1920, also known as the Fourth Home Rule Bill, on May 3rd, 1921. This is the birthday of American singer, songwriter, producer, and actor James Brown, born May 3rd, 1933. He lived to the age of 73. And you'll be grateful that I'm not performing the thing that I always think of whenever I think of James Brown. This is also the birthday of American singer and actor Frankie Valli, born May 3rd, 1934. Still alive, Frankie Valli turns 86 in 2020. On May... Oops. Well, too late now. Maybe I could turn that off so that it doesn't do it again. All right, give me my script back. On May 3rd, 1952, Lieutenant Colonel Joseph O. Fletcher of Oklahoma, he's from Oklahoma, landed the first aircraft on the North Pole along with Lieutenant Colonel William P. Benedict. The Kentucky Derby was televised nationally for the first time on May 3rd, 1952. Now, we talked about the 14th Amendment the other day, and that's the one that addresses citizenship rights and equal protection under the law. And as you might remember, it was proposed in regards to the rights of former slaves. Well, on May 4th, 1954, the Supreme Court ruled in a case called Hernandez versus Texas that the 14th Amendment applied to all racial minorities, which ought to go without saying, but I guess they had to take it all the way to the Supreme Court to make it official. On this day in 1957, Walter O'Malley, the owner of the Brooklyn Dodgers, agreed to move the team from Brooklyn to Los Angeles. The Anne Frank House Museum opened in Amsterdam, Netherlands on May 3rd, 1960. So if you're planning a trip to Amsterdam, consider putting that on your list of places to visit. May 3rd, 1973, the 108-story Sears Tower in Chicago topped out at 1,451 feet as the world's tallest building. I have a feeling that other buildings have surpassed it, but there you go, it was tallest for a minute. The first unsolicited bulk commercial email, which would later become known as spam, was sent by a Digital Equipment Corporation marketing representative to every ARPANET address on the west coast of the United States on May 3rd, 1978. They had email as long ago as 1978. Oh my goodness, the May 3rd tornado. On May 3rd, 1999, the southwestern portion of the Oklahoma City Metroplex was devastated by an F5 tornado. Killed dozens of people, injured hundreds more, destroyed thousands of homes, caused over $1 billion in damage. That F5 tornado was just one of 66 or 72 tornadoes from this 1999 Oklahoma tornado outbreak. The tornado, this F5, also produced the highest wind speed ever recorded as of the date this research was compiled, measured at 301 miles per hour plus or minus 20 miles per hour. This outbreak actually lasted from May 2nd to May 8th and spawned, this here says 72 tornadoes, produced hail up to 4.5 inches in diameter, and was the most prolific tornado outbreak in Oklahoma history, although not the deadliest. I lived in Oklahoma at the time, and I'll tell you, I've got stories of the May 3rd tornado. That's what we call it, the May 3rd tornado. Even though things that happened slightly before and slightly after. Anyway, that's all for another time maybe. It still makes me catch my breath. And I think that's going to do it for us today. As always, links to my research are included in the show notes. Thank you so much for watching. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share. You might think about checking out my other channel, 8 Susquehanna. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.